What's up, guys? Sorry I haven't uploaded to this channel in a little bit. I have actually been sick the last couple of weeks. Nothing too serious, nothing crazy. I don't know if it was the flu or if it was just a pretty harsh cold. I had one pretty rough weekend, and then after that, there was like a week-long period where I couldn't talk unless I was talking in the deepest register possible, like this. Anything above that, I would just choke on myself. My voice did eventually recover, but there was still another week after that where I couldn't speak for more than a second without hacking up a lung. But I'm finally at the point where I can talk for a little bit without dying mid-sentence, so here we are. During my time off, I made... Holy shit. Sorry, that one snuck up on me a little bit. Anyway, during my time off, I of course got some editing done for the next video on my main channel. Be sure to check out my main channel, Saint Zesty. Absolute banger videos on there. And of course, I also read some manga. I've had a pretty good streak of talking about manga and anime on this channel, so why stop now? Might as well add to the list. The manga I ended up focusing on during this time was Kagurabachi. This manga entered my radar after I saw a teaser trailer for the anime adaptation releasing in 2027, and then I ended up seeing some memes about it, and this is really where it piqued my interest because it was kind of hard to get a read on what the general consensus on this manga was. Was it actually good, or were people hyping it up ironically? Just on a quick glance, it was kind of hard to tell. So of course I decided to see for myself. And the history of this manga is actually kind of interesting. The author behind it, I heard, actually only started writing manga during COVID, so that was like 2020, and now they already have their own full-fledged manga, and people's first impressions of it were also pretty interesting, because parts of it actually leaked before it ever officially came out. And oh boy, was it ripe for memeing. On the surface, it just looked like another typical edgy anime. You had glorious panels like this one where the main character is talking about how he wakes up every day with fresh hatred. And overall, just a lot of panels with the main character seemingly trying way too hard to look cool. And it led to a bunch of memes of people hyping it up as if it were the greatest manga ever, even though it hadn't even come out. One of the more popular iterations of this being the "enough time has passed" meme, where people were directly comparing it to other series like Boruto, saying that Kagurabachi is already way better than that series. And after reading the entire thing, let me tell you, they were right. Kagurabachi is actually very good. I might get into some light spoilers here, nothing too deep into the series, but just be warned, there might be some moments that I spoil here that might have carried more emotional weight if you had just read it on your own, and I do highly recommend reading this one on your own. Basically, the series follows Chihiro, an 18-year-old who was the sword of a blacksmith. Yeah, I just watched that back while I'm editing, and somehow I said sword instead of son. Weird little brain switcheroo there, my apologies. I blame it on being sick. I meant Chihiro is the son of a blacksmith, not a sword. And not just any blacksmith, this was the greatest blacksmith in all of Japan, and he's widely known for the fact that he created 6 enchanted blades. These 6 blades are understood to be the strongest in all the land, being able to conjure magic and enhance the user's magic abilities. And he's been keeping these puppies locked away for a long time. In the meantime, he's just been hanging out with Chihiro and training him to be a blacksmith as well. But one day tragedy strikes, a group of sorcerers kill Chihiro's father and steal all 6 of the enchanted blades. And so Chihiro tries to take revenge for his father's death against the people who killed him, as well as reclaim the 6 stolen blades. As far as premises go, this one's not too crazy, not too out there, nothing too complex, but it does set the stage for some absolutely wild set pieces. Every single fight in this series is beautifully crafted. Body parts are flying everywhere. I don't think there's a single fight where someone doesn't lose a limb. It's chaotic, it's hectic, it's well drawn, and there is plenty of moments set up for aura farming. All the while it manages to carry on a consistently interesting story. I'm not going to get into the specific story beats, but it kept surprising me pretty much every step of the way. But for the most part, you are getting back-to-back action with this series, and every step of the way, it is freaking awesome. Now, this isn't really a complaint, but this is something you might pick up on if you read it for yourself. This is a series that definitely wears its inspirations on its sleeve. For example, I think a lot of the fights in this series are very Jujutsu Kaisen coded. I don't know how well I'll be able to explain this, but characters are just constantly trying to out-aura each other. Really pivotal moments in fights, like characters losing a limb, happen very quickly, and then you'll have plenty of moments where a character will use a new power or use some sort of skill, and a narrator will take a moment to explain what's happening along the way. There's plenty of other instances where the inspiration seemed to be leaking out of this series, but one I can't get out of my head is there just has to be a John Wick inspiration in here. First of all, in terms of tone, this manga's edgy reputation is well earned. The memes were completely right, although it does come across more natural in the actual series than it seems to appear to be in the memes. But also, there is an entire arc that takes place in a hotel. The manager guarantees the protection of everyone who's inside. And to top it all off, Chihiro, the main character, just happens to don a clean black and white suit. If this isn't blatantly John Wick inspired, then I'm gonna have a crisis. I did actually look it up. Kagurabachi was actually very heavily inspired by John Wick and, interestingly enough, Naruto, which I didn't really pick up on at first, but in a lot of ways I can see it. I think in a lot of ways the main character has a lot of the same traits as Naruto. Very idealistic, trying to work hard and do right by everyone. Yeah, he's pretty much emo Naruto. I think if I had any complaint at all, it's kind of hard to keep track of all the characters. It seems like there are constantly characters entering and exiting the plot, and while all the characters have relatively unique designs, I don't think the art style lends itself very well to helping differentiate these characters. And there's so much going on constantly in this series, it was kind of hard for me to keep track of who was on my page at a given moment. There's really only 3 characters I can remember the names of in the series. Chihiro, Shiba, and Samura. Those are really the 3 coolest characters that you should know about in this series. But yeah, those are the only 3 that I remember. But yeah, I really enjoyed this series. I was pleasantly surprised by the quality of it. A lot of people are saying it might be the next big shonen like Jujutsu Kaisen, and I think if the anime can live up to the manga, there's a really good chance that that'll be the case. The action sequences are really cool. There is aura galore in the series. And to top it all off, pretty good writing to carry it all. It's definitely an anime I'm excited to see when it does eventually come out. It's actually being animated by the studio that did the Uma Musume series. They're not a huge studio at this point, but I think if they can pull off this series, it might put them on the map on the same level as like Mappa or UFO Table. So yeah, I enjoyed the manga. I'm excited for the anime. It's safe to say I thoroughly Kagurabachied my pants. All right, guys. Thanks for being patient for this video. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.